welcome to News Stripped Down, where I dig through the news and weed out all the nonsense so you guys don't have to. 30 minutes or less. Why? Because anything longer than that's probably just BS, anyways. Today is May 18th. It's Monday, the start of the week for anyone who it matters. It's 2026. It's 6 degrees Celsius in southwestern Manitoba. It feels like it feels like 2 degrees Celsius. That's 42. Yeah, or it really feels like 35.6 Fahrenheit here to you guys down in the States. Yeah, it's chilly. It tried snowing yesterday again, which was pretty funny. Wow, and it's not supposed to warm up until like next weekend, which really sucks. But yeah, that's Manitoba for you. So let's start off with some birthdays today. Nicholas II, the Tsar of Russia, the last Emperor of Russia, and the last Grand Duke of Finland, and the last uh, Tutar King of Poland. So yeah, he was he got all tangled up with that Rasputin guy, and yeah, they ended up getting rid of him. That's kind of funny because this guy comes up again here in history. It's kind of funny. I think he's on tomorrow's show. And today in 1872, Russell, English philosopher, for finding the analytic philosophy. Sorry, my fucking. Uh, yeah, he was working on logic, different types of logic and mathematics, cognitive science, and then stuff that we see people are using in computer science right now. So even his philosophy that he did back in the day, people still really taking that to heart and using it into computer sciences nowadays. He passed at the age of 97. And in 1897, Frank Capra, famous Italian American director and producer, uh, multiple Academy Award winner for directing, famously for the movie Mr. Deeds Goes to Town in 1936. He passed at the age of 94, 91. And I was just talking about this guy the other day. It's so funny. So yeah, in 1920, Pope Jean Paul II. Yeah, even after surviving that assassination attempt against him, he lived to 2004, passing at the age of 84. That was so funny. That yeah, the assassination attempt was on May 13th, 1981. Yeah, and which is funny, that was 6 days ago. Think about that. May 13th, 1981. The Pope Jean Paul, and then he had his birthday just a couple days after he was shot. Probably still spending it in the hospital. That's so funny. A lot of things are happening like this right now. It's kind of funny. And then today, Reggie Jackson, born in 1946, aka Mr. October, played 21 seasons with 5 different clubs. George Strait, 74 today, born in 1952. Known for his 25 albums and 60 number one singles. Songs like Check Yes or No, and oh, famously, you guys got to know this. All my exes live in Texas. Yeah, 60 number one hits. Yeah, that's crazy. Uh, choo, choo, choo. And then today, Hong Kong superstar Yun Fat Chow, aka also known as Chow Yun Fat, famous superstar over in Hong Kong, and is for his massive role that if you guys ever seen Hard Boiled, go check that out. I think that movie was almost like revolutionary of its time. I think this is where like Quentin Tarantino, like Japan and Asia was doing something like really crazy. And yeah, Chow Yun Fat today is 71, born in 1955. And Yuri Curry, born 1966. He is six, or sorry, 1960. He is 66 years old today. He's a Finnish NHL player with 5 Stanley Cup wins in his 21-year seasons with 5 different teams. Another thing, see the 5 different teams thing comes up again. Is that just like a magic number? And then today, from born 1970, Tina Fey, famously known from Saturday Night Live, is 56 years old. And yes, her contributions to the TV show 30 Rock. And she also wrote the movie Mean Girls in 2004, which I did not know that Tina Fey wrote that. That's pretty crazy. Should I get into this other thing? Here, let's just do this in case I run out of time. See, there's another Yuri Curry thing here. So today in 1990, Yuri Curry, playing for the Edmonton Oilers, set a record with 3 goals and 2 assists in a 7-2 win at the Boston Garden. Like, that's crazy. He did that on his birthday. Like, that's unreal. Like, what a birthday present, eh? And then again, this what's his name? The czar here, the Hyundai tragedy, where people were stomped to death and rushed a field in Moscow during the coronate coronation festival of Tsar Nicholas II, killing 1,300 people. That's crazy. Yeah. See, the Tsar comes up again. Oh, it's unreal. But I'll leave those for right now. Let's get over to some U.S. news right now. Here, I'll do the temperature again. Yeah, it's May 18th. It's Monday, guys, for anyone to who it matters. Yeah, it's 6 degrees Celsius. It feels like 2 degrees Celsius, so it's kind of chilly out there. And it's 42 degrees point 0.8 Fahrenheit to you guys down in the States, but it really feels like 35.6 Fahrenheit here to you guys down in the States. And quick little update, Canada here. Yeah, there's been about 9 people right now who have been exposed to that hantavirus and are under quarantine or under isolation. One person has still been confirmed with that, so I don't know. They're keeping a pretty good eye on it, so it's not their first rodeo. And yeah, let's get over to some news here. U.S. Air Force defense contractor Monica Witt, if you haven't heard, yeah, there's a price on her head right now. Actually, there's been a price on her head for right now. Yeah, the FBI just raised her reward to $200,000 for her capture. She defected in 2013, and authorities are saying with her background working in the Air Force as a cryptologic language analyst assigned to the Office of Special Investigations as listed as counterintelligence, and her work after when she as a defense contractor at Booz Allen Hamilton, consulting on Iranian subject matters. Like, how funny is this? Okay, no wonder they bumped up the price on this chick's head. Like, and but there's another issue too. I think they bumped this up because I think they're trying to do some things in Iran right now, and her name is popping up. So I think this is why they raised the price on her head right now. And she did have access to, ongoing, missions that are classified, and people who were working in these missions too that are supposed to be classified. So I'm actually not surprised that they didn't jack the price up on her any more than what it is. But yeah, this Monica Witt, you might be hearing more of her in the upcoming news now. But yeah, that's pretty hot topic right now. That's probably going to take over the media for a bit. And over to Canadian pension plan here in Canada. Figure this one out. Uh, uh, just let's hey, I'll just read it. I'll just read it. So U.S. based Katoris has got to go ahead to build a massive liquefied natural gas facility in Carmen Parish, Louisiana. That's like along the coast. It's like right off of Texas. So that's where that Cameron Parish is. So it's right along the golf course after raising about 9.75 billion in financing in the plant's construction. Mambudala Energy is is the branch of Abu Dhabi's sovereign wealth funds, which holds a 24.1% stake of this Qataris project that they're about to build here. Also owning equity and participant in project financing. And then also the Canadian Pension Plan Investors Board, the CPP Investments and energy investor Kimberidge have contributed $1.2 billion USD towards this plant, increasing their stake right now to 31%. That's surpassing the Abu Dhabi deal that they have right now. So that's what they're doing with the Canadian pension plan right now. I know there's probably going to be a lot of people that are be like, "What? Why aren't we putting that money here into Canada?" Well, sorry, this project's set in stone now. Like they're putting shovels in the ground on a project like this. Why would we put the Canadian pension plan into something, we got to wait a couple more years for? Like before anything really starts happening in Alberta, we got to wait till 2027, and then still the spring of 2027. Like is that enough time? So like yes, and also if they're putting 1.2 billion into this already and they have a 31% stake of this, how much did they put into this before? Because obviously there's more money put into this. So I don't know, I guess, like, I don't know, some people are going to take this as a double-edged sword. But like, I don't know, where do you want to see our money invested across in this country? Do you want to see it in, like, companies we have to dump a lot of money into before we start seeing like a payout? Like, I don't know. I'll let you guys decide when it comes to that. But that's gonna, if this isn't more news in the next week, I am gonna be very, very surprised. So yeah, I don't know. Tell me guys what you think. Where do you think Canadian pension plan money should be spent? And yeah, today's episode is brought to you by No Pants, everyone's favorite cereal. Okay, and then over to Ontario, Algoma Steel, Sault Ste. Marie is talking about starting up their number 6 blast furnace to make some pig iron. Pig iron, it's where you mix limestone and coke together. Coke, I believe, is like a refined type of coal. It burns like super hot. That's what I believe it is. Uh, uh, Guys who make horseshoes, blacksmiths use coke. They don't use like coal. They use something called coke. It burns super hot. So yeah, they're planning on starting up this number 6 plant. Over the past couple years, though, they've shut down their number 9, number 8, and number 7 kilns. And this was just a part because they were trying to convert from this new like electric arc furnaces, but they kind of kept this one without really telling anybody. If you go to their website, they talk a lot about like, hey, yeah, we decommission these, like we're agreeing with the environment, we're going to really help, but they kept this one under their hat because I don't know what they were planning for, like maybe like a turnaround and maybe how we were going to deal with climate change and see like, is it really an issue? Or maybe we have somebody else come into office where we could fire up these like smoke firing kilns that are going to create just basic pig iron. Pig iron is kind of just a raw basic product, but it could be good for the people, but not, it's another double-edged sword. There's going to be a lot of environmentalist people, and then a lot of people are like, oh great, now they brought back the black smoke clouds. They were doing better when they switched to the electric kilns. But yeah, Algoma Steel and Sault Ste. Marie is possibly thinking of doing this. And another reason that they're doing this is because just the way the market is going, And then the way they can get bulk steel to make this is, it seems feasible, and they could get product out as well. And also, there's the concerns too. If they do start up this kiln, they got a grant of 500 mil. Actually, a few companies got grants of $500 million in financing, to with an understanding that they wouldn't cut that they would cut carbon emissions by 70%. So if they do start this up, are they going to have to pay back the loan that well, then it's considered a loan now. They'd have to pay that back, so that's another issue that's going to come up too. Like, where did that money go? Do they have to pay that back? So yeah, but I don't know. But you're gonna have the workers too, the industrial people working in the industrial industry, who are like, hoping for more jobs and looking for stability. Like looking for that perfect like 9 to 5 job. Like it's a double-edged sword. Who are you going to help? We can't help everyone. And to tell you the truth, this environmental thing is a bunch of BS in the first place. Canada is a nation. Like, why are we suffering because of way other countries treat their countries? And then per capita, we're like one of the clean. Well, we probably are the cleanest country in the, well, probably besides Hawaii. Well, that's not a country, but cleanest country overall, like when it comes to pollution and stuff like that. So I don't know. I don't know. I say fire it up, make jobs, start creating product. Let's start fast tracking some of this stuff that got sidelined like after Harper got out of office, because that's what Harper did. He put us all into this like main industry kind of format, kind of world. Oh, and over to BC, the Kitimat LNG terminal in BC's northern region there. It's kind of near the Yukon, up the corner, just like down from the Yukon there. Yeah, a ways down. It's got a strait that runs into it. Has Yeah, they have agreed to finalize collaboration on LNG Canada's phase two. This will double capacity to 28 million tons of liquefied natural gas annually. And what's funny is Doug Abbey was there for the meeting too. This is so funny. Like, let me finish this and I'll get back to the Abbey here. This is so funny. Uh, so yeah, this is a joint effort between LNG Canada, Shell, Petrolanus, Petro Canada, Mitsubishi Corporation, Corporation, and the Korean Gas Corporation. Yeah, so yeah, they're gonna kind of back the capital funding to get this project going into phase two right now. And I kind of seen this coming a while ago. You see Shell Fuels right now, they're doing a lot of stuff in Australia and like other countries right now. And this is a good investment for sure, for Shell Fuels. And I'm surprised. I heard that a few of these actually companies had pulled out, but see, things are happening for Canada right now. And I have to admit how quickly it is happening. Like, people don't think like, okay, we everyone wants everything now, but you know what? If this was any other prime minister right now, I like the way he's just keeping his mouth shut and making these deals and stuff right now. And then speaking, let me get into Abby here. He's sitting here criticizing Alberta for agreeing for the agreement to do this pipeline, and then he's at this meeting for the finalization for stage two of this natural gas like export shipping yard. Like, are you kidding me, man? Like, what? You're an absolute goof, man. You're an absolute goof. Like, so what is it? That's a double standard. It's a complete double standard. Okay, we got our deal. but then you gave Alberta a deal, and that's not fair. But the reason it's not fair is because you're rewarding, improper, nationalism or patriotism, and you're rewarding anti-patriotism is what you're doing. But that's so funny. Like, how is it supposed to be, Abby? Nothing can be happy for you. Like, absolutely not. Oh, and you know how I love to bring up BlackRock. I'm obsessed with BlackRock. I don't know why I talk about BlackRock so much. You guys should look at BlackRock. Just come on, watch what BlackRock's doing. So sorry. Okay, so BlackRock and Brookfield are looking into investing more into SpaceX. This is actually kind of surprising. They already do have some stocks in SpaceX right now. As they're seeing potential growth in SpaceX as it's looking, uh, yeah, because since like SpaceX has been looking into like working in multiple different fronts, it's kind of a good company to start investing into right now. Like it's not just about space technology; they're doing a lot of other stuff too. And BlackRock's really taking a look at that, and for them to really sit there and consider doing that, this could be good for small investors right now too. If you guys are so keen on playing the stock market, like investing a little bit into SpaceX, because if BlackRock and Brookfield start putting more money into SpaceX, well, what's going to happen to SpaceX stock then. It's going to go up. And so, like, this is kind of like insider trading, but what could happen right now with SpaceX? And think, you're dealing with a rocket company. If something like like devastating happens with SpaceX when it comes to their space program, that could devastate the whole company, like, and all their other little side projects doing too. So if you're really investing into SpaceX and not just their space program or into something else, just remember, like, this is a volatile company. Like, no pun intended, but like, seriously, like, that's going to affect the market if something bad happens. Look at the airline industries. Every time there's a crash or something bad happens to a plane, like, you watch their stock markets crash. So like, yeah, but BlackRock has a lot of people's money to play with, and it's not like they would lose a heck of a lot for themselves. It'd be all the small investors, they're pretending to work for. Yeah, so I still got a little bit more time here. Yeah, so that's it for the news today, you guys. I'm here Monday to Friday, 4 to 4:30 p.m. Central Time. Uh, yeah, yeah, I hope everyone's having a good Monday. I know a few people that aren't, but it's all good. It's all good. Just try not to think of it. Just go on to your next thing. Yeah, there's a lot worse people you could be right now instead of you know, being depressed and other things. So yeah, today in 1870. Oh, sorry, I'm reading birthdays again. Idiot. And I'm using different paper to write my birthdays and things that happened today in history on. So I am gonna have to start writing on these different. Uh, so yeah, today, May 18th, 1804, Napoleon Bonaparte was proclaimed Emperor of France by the French Senate. You know what's funny? Also that year though, Saint Dominique, Haiti, declared independence from France, ending a 13-year war. Like, think about that. Napoleon Bonaparte just was proclaimed emperor. And then just shortly after this, Saint Dominique, Haiti, declares independence from France after a 13-year war. How did they get independence from Napoleon? Like, that, I'm just so confused with that. That really blew my mind. Like, I don't know how I put those two things together. I think I wrote something about that the other day, about Saint Dominique declaring its independence. Yeah. which is really funny. See, I have all these things that I talk about in history. You know, they're starting to come together. Yeah, I talked about the Hayan Hodinga tragedy. Yeah, with the Tsar Nicholas II. Yeah, that's crazy. And then he was killed this day too. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. It was his birthday and he was killed. Yeah. India becomes the sixth nation. Oh, in 1974, India becomes the sixth nation to detonate an atomic bomb. First was the United States in 1945, then Russia, aka the USSR, in 1949, the UK in 1952, France in 1960, and then China 1964, India today in 1974, uh, Pakistan in 1998. Pakistan in 1998, this is where I'm a little bit confused about this too. Because there was a treaty signed that no other nation was allowed to have nuclear weapons after 1991. So, how the F did Pakistan get nuclear weapons in 1998? Like, anyone? Bueller? Bueller? Like, I'm gonna have to look into this. Like, did they catch somebody with their pants down? And it was like, okay, you can have the nuclear weapons now. And then the last country is, yes, North Korea. You know, it's so funny. Going after Iran, and there's actual no, they're working on nuclear weapons, right? They're working on nuclear weapons. Well, like, there's North Korea, and like, how long has he said he just like, screw the US, bomb the US, bomb the US? Like, his whole family, his whole generation of his family, his whole lineage is based on F the US and just bomb them. Like, and then we go after Iran. Like, that's so funny. Oh, I don't know what's going on with this world. Yeah, North Korea has a nuclear bomb. Oh, and then today in 1980, Mount St. Helens erupts in Washington state, triggering the largest landslide in history, killing 57 people and $1 billion in damages. Yeah. I wasn't born yet, but I definitely remember like doing stuff about that in school. That was a big, big thing. Yeah, that was massive. And then today in 2009, Sri Lanka ends its 26-year civil war with the government winning. Wow. Wow, in Sri Lanka, the government won. It wasn't the rebels. Uh, and then today in 1929, Grauman, Grauman's Chinese Theater in Hollywood. You know, the famous Chinese theater in Hollywood Boulevard. I was gonna look up to see whose stars are in front because there's quite a few movie stars who have their stars in front of that one. Or do they pick them up and move them around? I always wondered about that in like California. Do they pick up those stars and just move them around for the hell of it? You know, keep it different. And then today in 1999, Backstreet Boys' Millennium album sells 30 million copies, becoming one of the best albums of all time. It literally says the best albums of all time, not the best selling albums of all time. But 30 million copies. Okay, what were we paying for CDs back in the day? Like 15, 16 bucks sometimes. If they were new, maybe 18 or 22. So yeah, that's a lot of money. And they probably didn't get it. They all went to the producers and stuff. And then today in 1977, the US, the USSR, and other nations signed the Environmental Modifications Convention, prohibiting weather warfare with widespread, long lasting, or severe effects. Yes, I really just said that. 1977, the USSR and other nations signed Environmental Modification Convention, prohibiting weather warfare with widespread, long-lasting, or severe effects. They did that in 1977. And I know Bueller's not here, but Bueller, anyone? Help me. Help me. Okay, well, that's it for today. I'll be back for tomorrow's show. 30 minutes or less. Yeah, pretty close. Yeah. New strip down. I'll be here Monday to Friday, 4 to 4:30 p.m. Central Time. Yeah, normally 30 minutes or less because anything else is BS. But you guys, it's Monday. Blah blah blah. Everyone have a great day and have a great week if I don't see you guys on Tuesday. And yeah, I don't know. It's cloudy and gloomy outside right now. Who cares? Do something. Do something. Everyone, go do something. Go write. Go read a book. Play a video game if you want to. Just get out of that mood. And don't play video games that make you angry because it doesn't help the brain. Okay, I'm out of here. You guys have a good week if I don't talk to you. Peace.